Anthony on Air podcast back for another episode, and we're talking about Ted Cruz in the news again, plus Texas overall. We'll check in with what's going on over there. My pillow guy, Mike Lindell, back in the news. He's getting sued for a bill. Obama and Bruce doing a podcast together, 3D printed meat, and Gwyneth Paltrow claims that she started the mask trend. Let's get off and running. By the way, Janine, you look like shit. I don't know what you've been doing, but
you got to start shaving.
Look like, yeah. I would love to get that on. That's Brian the Cannon Bannon, everybody, joining us special for this episode. Frankie C is here as usual. Our good, proud sponsor, Hero Soap Company. Link in the description below. More on them in a second. So, some people, by the way, Frankie, you talked about I miss the days where we had silly, fun stories. Yeah. We're starting the podcast off with a silly, fun story. A group of people got together, started a GoFundMe page, raised some money to send a mariachi band over to Ted Cruz's house to serenade him after his Cancun trip debacle. There's the footage right there, the mariachi band performing right outside of Ted Cruz's house.
Please tell me he was home and peeked out of his stupid window with his stupid face.
I hope
he was home.
I feel like Ted Cruz is going. They're really good too. I don't want to get flagged for copyright or anything, but they're
Send
pretty
me their
good.
Card.
They did a good job. What?
Send me their card.
Yeah,
I want to book them.
I'm gonna have them at my kid's bat mitzvah. By the way, we have to switch to Judaism, babe. I forgot to tell you. Anyway, yeah, I think he was home. You know, it's funny because people started commenting right away. They were like, well, I hope his children weren't home. I'm like, I'm pretty sure his kids are still in Cancun, aren't they?
Even if they weren't, I think they could handle a mariachi band.
I think it made its point. It made its point. Absolutely.
A mariachi band is fun. I get that. Yeah, and his kids are older, I think. I'm not down for messing with families and everything like that, but a mariachi band, I kind of get that.
That's funny. It's not like they're throwing paint on anybody. It's a mariachi band.
You
couldn't hire them for Cancun? Oh wait, there are a dime a dozen probably down there.
I don't know. Are they?
And we're employing musicians, which, as we all know, during the pandemic has been hard. They're looking for work. Those guys,
Yes.
They need the work right there. Adam Jamba.
Guitars need to be stringed. The guitars need to be stringed, and they can't be done by themselves.
That's right. Adam Jamba set up a GoFundMe page. They raised, I don't even know, I think $1,000 or something like that. People were donating like crazy. And they went and performed at his house just yesterday. So I thought that was a nice little thing for the Cruz family.
I know I'm jumping late into this, and you've discussed this before. I think I don't know if... Could you do that, Anthony? Frank, could you do that too as well? Like it's crunch time, and you're going to be seen getting onto a plane. Social media, it screwed him up here. Of course it did. Someone recognized him, even though he's wearing a mask.
No, you can't do. That's the last thing you should do is abandon ship as the captain of your ship. Plus, I love his comment was I started to regret it when I sat down on the plane.
Yeah.
Not when I booked the trip, not when I got in the taxi to get there or whatever the hell he got there.
And there's people doing this. Yeah. Just sitting there like,
I wonder why. What am I doing? I'm just on a plane.
Isn't it weird though?
Extra peanuts, extra peanuts, another drink.
Imagine if you started ordering cocktails.
I'll hold the ice. I got enough ice back in Texas. I don't need any more ice.
A couple umbrellas in there.
But we've entered a weird state of affairs where, like Brian is saying, you can't do anything anymore without.
No. You can't do anything stupid without.
True. I guess that's true. But I just find it 15 years ago, this wouldn't have been an issue at all. Nobody would have known anything. And now.
If this was, let's see, if this was a month ago, 2 months ago, and he got on a plane and went to Cancun, probably would have been no big deal.
No, but I'm saying, still considering if it's a fact of I have to stay home. No one else can go anywhere, but yet you're able to go somewhere. We've seen that happen certainly with other people, that the Kardashians holding a party for New Year's or whatever party they held. Again, it was kind of tone deaf that they were holding this party while the rest of but they all quarantined and all was safe. Did Cruz end up getting a COVID test before stepping on that plane?
I don't know.
I don't think he got one coming back either, but I don't know.
I don't know, but It's the same thing with the Kardashians, because it's like, I get even doing it. Keep it off of Instagram, for Christ's sake. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to brag about it
down people's throats.
Yeah. That's a little different with Cruz, though, because he got forcefully put on Instagram by other people. But I'm saying, in 15 years ago, without everybody on this whole thing, with the cameras up everywhere, we wouldn't have known this guy scooted off to Cancun.
I think any of the politicians, if they were on a plane going to a warmer climate, I think any of them, no matter independent, Republican, Democrat, whatever, I think they all would have been called, held their feet to the fire on this.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. And I
it
also...
has nothing to do with him being a Republican.
No,
to do with it.
I agree. And I also think especially him, because we were talking about this last time, he got bitch slapped so hard by Trump during the primaries and everything else. He's become our punching bag in the country right now. Like, he's kind of like, if you go after Ted Cruz, he will cower and apologize later. By the way, my favorite thing ever, I'm going to see if I can find this photo. He left for Cancun wearing a regular, just medical, whatever, face mask. He came back wearing a Texas state flag face mask.
This will look better. This will make me look like I really support Texas. Let me switch to my Texas mask.
That's what it was.
Mask him and was made in Mexico.
Him and his well done, my friend. Him and his aides got together and were like, "What could we do to put a spin on this?" Like, I know. Let's give him a Texas mask.
I don't know if he's
the worst part. Like we said the last time, worst part too. Well, not the worst, but a terrible part is that he left his dog in his house.
Yeah,
with no heat.
By the way, the dog would have loved the mariachi band had it not frozen to death. I just want to say that would have loved it. Absolutely.
Well, hopefully the security cameras around the house had caught this footage, and hopefully the security team that worked detail at the house would never release that video ever to the internet.
By the way,
a frozen dog,
not to be
the mariachi band. Oh, good one, Frank. Yeah.
Not to be Rush Limbaugh, but I have it on good. Sources that dog has died, and they replaced it with another dog. Just so you guys know, I just want to say,
throw another conspiracy theory on the flames. Yeah.
I don't want to stoke the conspiracy theory flames, but that's a replacement dog in that house today. Okay, just so you guys know.
Okay.
Somebody sent me a clip of Rush Limbaugh after we talked about it on the podcast, and it was him talking about Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox.
Let's say Michael Jackson. Michael J. Fox. And I watched the clip, and in the clip, Limbaugh, it's so absurd, it's almost funny. Not that it is funny, but it's so absurd, it's almost funny. He's literally going, Michael J. Fox is exaggerating his Parkinson's thing.
Yeah.
And and I'm sitting there going, well, why? Even if he was, like, what? There was literally zero to gain by pretending your Parkinson's is 30% worse. You know what I'm saying?
It shouldn't be vulnerable. Like, this is vulnerable. This is me with Parkinson's, and here's what it looks like for those people that don't see people with Parkinson's that are taking their medication, right?
Yeah, and he literally sat there and he goes, he's making it look worse than it actually is. And I'm going, what?
There's no need to, it's we know it's bad. Why would anybody do that?
Bring out the Rush tapes when he was losing his hearing.
Is it bad? Really?
Like, I wouldn't want to be the program director that walks in like, Rush, buddy, maybe today, go take a vacation. Go, let's figure out what's going on and come back. No, he definitely has lost his hearing, and he couldn't hear himself. So he was talking affected by that, and that's one thing that you could throw back on this is, no, he was making up his hearing. He was talking like that just to accentuate the facts. So when he started pointing fingers, this again, the Michael J. Fox thing was before Rush started losing his hearing. But I think it was.
You're saying he exaggerated his hearing loss?
What?
Yeah. There you go.
I got a kick at it, not from a sense of like I was relating to Rush, but from a sense of what would make a person bring that angle to the air. Like, the guy with Parkinson's, he's making his Parkinson's seem 30% worse for the, like, what?
And an American treasure.
Yeah. Where is he getting that? How does he know he's making it worse?
That was the
like he hangs out with him every day, and I see him all the time, and he doesn't do half the stuff he did in this commercial.
Yeah, you don't
know the guy.
It was so absurd. And before anybody's like, well, you guys just don't get, like, stop it. We do this for a living. Right. We know how to craft a bit. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Yep. By the way, here's Ted Cruz in his Texas mask on the way back. You gotta love that guy.
Jackass.
This is messed up too. So to piggyback on the Texas story, this is how crazy things are in Texas right now. The energy companies over there, supposedly, this is not like LIPA up here in New York. So the electric bills are based on a supply and demand system. And there are people that are in Texas right now. So the people whose power didn't go out or came back on early, some of these people are getting bills for $17,000 for fair. A few days of electricity.
Right. Because they're carrying the brunt of what's being lost.
It is the most absurd thing ever. So here's this guy, Ty Williams, who I think is a good baseball player. I'm not exactly sure, but he lives in Dallas.
Sounds familiar.
And he got a bill. His bill soared from by the way, a $600
he still have his Christmas lights on?
I've never paid $600. I don't know what things are going like in Texas, but my bill has never been $600 in a month.
That's
but anyway,
insane.
$600. It went from $600 to $17,000. He said he received the bill from the energy company Gritty. Now I'm pretty sure that's the mascot for the Flyers, not an energy company.
Yeah.
So that might be part of the problem.
If he branched off into power companies, Gritty's going to take over the world soon. That's his next move.
Like only a mascot like Gritty can be like, I don't know, 17,000 maybe. Like
Gritty's face, I can picture it right now.
Yeah,
he looks like he's been electrocuted.
Gritty.
That's why the price is so high. He's stealing it all.
This is Gritty. This is the kind of person who would send out a $17,000 electric bill. That's Gritty right there.
That's him.
Famed mascot from the Philadelphia Flyers.
Remember when they announced that?
I do remember that.
Come up with that? Like that seemed like
child's nightmare.
One of their kids drew a crazy picture and said, "You know what? That looks great." And he just, he smoothed out the rough edges and brought it in. Hey, kids love it.
By the way, one of the most famous times your old pal Ant was 1,000,000,000% wrong. I always like to pat myself on the back. In this particular case, I could not be more wrong. I'm like, this mascot's not going to last 2 weeks. This is the biggest mistake this organization has ever made. It's not only a success, it might be the most popular mascot in sports, period, let alone in hockey.
As big as Philly Fanatic.
Yeah, completely.
Mr. Met?
Right, I would say right up there. The only thing Mr. Met has on him is time. Time on the job.
That's true.
That's it. Other than that, he's so friggin' popular, that Gritty. So
you're getting this bill from Texas from your mascot Gritty, and he's overcharging you and holding your feet to the fire that you got to pay up for this. Where I think it was Texas has a lot more heat pump situations where it's an air conditioner and a heater. So those all run on electric, and a lot of them have electric heat, and they're freezing, and their pipes are frozen. And, hearts go out to the people of Texas as Ted Cruz is on a plane going to warmer weather. And then to receive this bill is just not even a Band-Aid. It doesn't even help. So they're going to make good on those bills?
Oh.
The company's like, all right, yeah.
Just wait, my friend. So he gets a $17,000 bill. The price of power spiked from $50 per megawatt to $9,000 per megawatt in some cases due to the supply and demand disaster, according to the outlets down there in Texas. Customers with so-called variable or indexed electric plans in Texas, the only state to run its own unique standalone electricity grid, are particularly controlled by market demand. That caused the prices to increase as Texans who didn't lose power cranked up the heat amid brutally cold temperatures this past week. Royce,
so are they liable for that? Like legally, they have to pay that?
It's your cell phone on roam as you're out of the country. You're in France and you're on your phone and you're getting text messages and sending snaps, and then you get that bill afterwards that I thought I had the international plan on my phone. Yeah, I guess it's the same case.
Yeah, but that's something you could control. I mean, this is I'm in my house using the same amount of electricity I had last month, and it's 1,000,000 times higher.
Anthony, you remember that time during the summer when I lost my power and you didn't care?
Yeah,
that sounds like you.
Not only did I not care, I was like so happy. I cranked. What did I say? I cranked up the air conditioner even higher.
You felt so sad that I had no power that you felt obliged to turn on every light in the house to use the power that I would have used for my refrigerator or my air conditioner. And thank you, Anthony. Thank you so much for helping me with that.
You heartless bastard.
I did say that.
Yeah.
That's some funny shit.
It helped me make a TikTok that went viral. I think 100 people saw it. I was very happy with that. So
way to go.
Very happy with that.
I remember that.
We don't lose power much during the wintertime. Thank goodness around here. We lose it during the summertime and the fall if a hurricane or a storm comes through. But, in this case, it wasn't just the local power lines that were down. It was the infrastructure. It's the blackout that we had in the 2000s on a bigger scale in the entire state of Texas.
Yeah, I remember that because I remember cranking the air conditioning and then opening my windows and doors and going like this in the general direction of your home, even though you live
Brian's
40
gonna
minutes
love
away.
This is the whole point. Yeah.
I
had to throw out all my food. It was horrible.
Yeah, that was really bad, and I didn't make it much better. I apologize for that. That was.
And you know what? I didn't even get on a plane to Cancun. So
good for you. You stuck it out.
I couldn't. Although I've come up with a system of broadcasting live from other places, Anthony, I wasn't able to get on a plane with the microphone here and actually do my show from anywhere else during that time period too.
That would have been nice.
Beat the heat of summer and no electricity.
Well, listen, Ty Williams over there in Dallas isn't the only one. Royce Pierce, who I can only assume is an heir to a luxury car company.
Ty and Royce. Have you ever heard of more Texas bunch of names?
I mean, seriously. His bill went for his 3-bedroom home soared to $10,000 for just a few days.
So what happens? I mean, they can't pay that.
So a Reliant, let me see here. Let's get to the crux of this whole thing. A Reliant Energy spokeswoman told NBC that it's offering flexible bill payment options for customers.
Oh, God bless them.
That were impacted by the storm.
Oh, how great of them! And only 20% interest.
I envy those people of Texas that weren't able to answer their phone and get the question about their car warranty it being outdated and they couldn't get those phone calls. So maybe that's the upside of having to pay this high electric bill.
It's $10,000 hanging up on the warranty people.
In addition to feeling bad for the people itself, I also feel bad for this Reliant Energy spokeswoman because when she got the email from her bosses being like, wait, this can't be it. This is what we're doing? You want me to
quit right there.
Yeah,
that would be the end of my days at the electric company.
You want me to call NBC back and say this to them? Are you serious? I can't.
I quit. See you later. You deal with it. I'm not dealing with that.
Tell them we really feel for them, and we're going to offer flex pay.
Thoughts and prayers to those people.
Yeah, we'll spread out the $10,000 over the rest of your life.
Listen, we'll make it easy for them. 3 easy payments of $3,999. So that,
and by the time the second notice and third notice comes around, they'll have the stimulus check, maybe.
Yeah. Also, Gritty, the power company, not the mascot, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. We know it was the power company because Gritty, the mascot, responds on Twitter right away. So that's
how could they respond if they don't have power? No, it just seems logical to me.
Frank, yeah.
But what's crazy is they spoke to like another customer and she goes, we're hoping that we can get some relief and they do the right thing. Like this is not a New York response. Like we would have been burning something.
That would have been just littered with F words and
Mm-hmm.
this ain't happening. This is over. I'm getting off the grid. This would be the end. I go, you're fixing this, and I'm installing solar panels.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
There would just be no way that I would even ever come close to paying this.
There's a local village that generates their own power. There's a few villages and places here on Long Island that do that. And this one village ended up taking more of their power off of the local grid and reselling it at a wholesale rate or whatever it is to the people of the village. Well, what happened is they did have generating facilities and they did have generators and that stuff did work. The problem is the one that knew how to do it retired 3 years ago. So this village during the last storm that we had, or there was a power problem, couldn't turn their generators back on because they retired.
Guy took a notebook with him?
No, he's right.
It's like, no, I'm taking my plans with me. You guys are on your own.
Probably took every knob off of every generator that said press here to start.
I brought these knobs from home. They're mine.
So, and that's the problem in Texas, that they were all generating their own power there. They were not taking any power in from anywhere else. God bless them. Maybe it was cheaper power, but then caused this problem. At least have a lifeline. Anytime we're on the internet, we have 3 different ways of having internet service for things like this. If we're working, and there was only one source for them to have the power.
This is something they never had to be prepared for. So
yeah, but so now they learn. Unfortunately, it's on the backs of Texans and gigantic pay bills. And Ted Cruz going to Cancun.
Yeah, but I mean,
let's not forget that.
Could you imagine these people? Ted Cruz is off in Cancun, $17,000 power bill. Like
they're one hit after another.
Yeah, it's been a rough go for the Texans.
The Texas bloggers have been amazing watching and documenting, and the social media has been, hey, this is what happened. It froze this, if this pipe burst. And, you sit back and you try to think of things. If that happened here, would you immediately fill up the tub, go down and turn off the main on the water and drain out the pipes? But then I think maybe these people were trying to do that, but they said, oh, no, the power's going to be back on in 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, they weren't ready for this. They weren't used to anything like this.
No. But it's like, I understand it catching people off guard. I understand not having salt trucks and things of that nature. Okay. But for a power company to not have weatherized their equipment.
Yeah.
But weatherized for what? They don't, if they don't have to.
Heat. Yeah, they're ready for the heat. They're not ready for the cold.
Yeah, they're not ready for
Atlanta. What was that? That ice storm in Atlanta that threw everybody off of the highway.
The Super Bowl. Wasn't that during the Super Bowl? That was
it? I think so.
Yeah, that was it.
And then the whole city didn't know how to deal with any of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy
Some
stuff.
places aren't ready for it. We're not equipped to handle a typhoon, but if it hits, we're screwed. I guess compared to a hurricane.
Yeah, like getting notice 15 minutes before you do a podcast that they wanted you on the podcast. But they're ready. They're ready.
All right, that seemed like it was a little personal. Let's move on to the next topic.
Cheap shot.
Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy, is back in the news. He was hit with one of those. By the way, Dominion is throwing out these $1.3 billion lawsuits like somebody who just got paid at a strip club. They're just.
Can I throw my hat in there? Can I get in on this lawsuit?
1.3 billion seems to be the number.
My pillow guy too.
My neck hurts. I use their pillow, and it's just my neck's not right since.
I hate to admit,
over on my pillow.
I hate to admit out of all this but I have on my pillow and I love it. The guy makes a hell of a pillow.
Now, Anthony, the question is, did you pay for that pillow?
Yeah, I paid for it.
I didn't have to pay for mine.
You got a swag? You got a deal? You got an endorsement deal?
Yeah, did.
Big time. Look at this.
This was a while ago, and unfortunately, the first pillow that they sent was a little too fluffy, and so they wanted to make right. So I ended up getting 2 My Pillows.
Nice.
Dos My Pillows.
Dos Piloses, I think is how they say it.
So I think so. You paid for yours, but in a different time when this was not a crazy story about his antics.
Way before any of this happened. Yeah.
Before this guy was a lunatic.
It's my favorite pillow on the planet, though. So I can't speak for his claims on the election, but for pillow making, the guy knows what he's doing. He really, really does.
Go ahead.
Did you see this coming? Him, the backlash to the people that developed the systems doing like a slander suit against him for all that he's been saying and doing? Well,
yeah. Here's what was a surprise to me. So I read this story. So Dominion is suing him, and they're suing the My Pillow company. And I'm like, I'm like, that's ridiculous. He's been doing all of and we talked about this on the last podcast when we were talking about this, and we were saying what sucks is there are, operations managers and, salespeople and, office workers, warehouse workers. They're going to get kicked in the teeth because this guy is going off on these crazy limbs, and the company is going to suffer, and these poor people are going to get caught in this windstorm. So, and then I see that they're suing him and the company. I'm like, well, that seems unfair because he's saying it, keep the company out of it. But little did I know, go to read the rest of the article, $1.3 billion. And the reason why they're including MyPillow's company is because he used on the website discount codes for the MyPillow, which were Fight for Trump, Proof, and QAnon. Those were discount codes he was offering for the MyPillow. So and here's the thing too. And even if people are like the election was stolen, they're like, okay, whatever you want to believe in, is okay with me. I already gave my opinion on this. It was in a previous episode. You can go back and look at it or watch it or listen to it, whatever. But my feeling is you're tainting your own mission. If your goal is to really get people to realize that the election was stolen, you're tainting that by trying to squeak in a couple more 100,000 pillow sales by using this all to drum up more business for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what the hell he has to do with anything political, why he got involved in anything political. I know he's friends with Donald Trump, but you make pillows, dude. Stay in your lane.
Well, and
you know what? Don't stay in your lane. I take that all back because they always say that about like celebrities and stuff getting involved in politics. You know what? Get involved.
It's his business. Jackass. It's his business. He can do whatever he wants to do with it. If he wanted to come out and say worse things, it's the one thing that I've learned early. And Anthony, I've told you this story is that I learned from previous bosses that you don't mess with the money.
Mm-hmm.
Don't mess with the money. If he was personally getting sued over conversations that he was made and he didn't tie it back to the business, you do feel bad for the people that are in that business that are being employed here in the United States, a very proud product that it's being made here in the United States and being shipped out of the United States here. But, to tie it back to the business, I think was faulty on his behalf. Yeah. And it'd be interesting to see how many of those coupon codes, you're going online and then you look for coupon codes on various websites, and someone just copied and pasted it, not knowing what it was. They're supporting the Proud Boys accidentally, because of a code that they were using for MyPillow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. And again, being radio guys, we're all radio guys. I'm a free speech guy. I'm all say whatever you want. But at the same time, it's weird. We're in this place. We were talking about this when that Gina Carano got fired, where businesses these days are being affected by what is said out there in the public forum. And it used to be that years ago, you didn't even know who the hell a CEO of a company was, let alone what they believed in politically.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to go back to the days where all these people were just, at fundraisers funding their own political agendas, and nobody the hell knew the wiser what was going on. Mm-hmm. But now it's all these public spectacles, and it seems to be that the ones that are making political stands, all their companies seem to be the ones that are suffering. And it's not a right left thing. Mm-hmm. Think about it like this. And by the way, this is always the way I approach things on the air too. And I just happen to be lucky because it aligns with my beliefs as an independent. But if you pick a side, or if you shun one side, or you're immediately halving your audience, you're immediately ostracized. So that's why, like, he goes out and does all this crazy shit. You're immediately cutting your potential customer base in half. Mm-hmm. And in no business does anybody go, you know what I want to do is sell something, but not to everybody in the country.
That's why most businesses smartly just steer away from politics. You're not supposed, you're being a responsible business owner or CEO. you don't want to get involved, you don't get involved, and you
We
want
see
to
that
think
in the-
about everybody.
We see that here in
Yeah.
the towns about a business that ends up putting lawn signs for the politicians, and it kind of shows you which way that business leans. And I don't know if that necessarily affects one person to go into that business or patronize that business in this fact. But as a business owner, to make a stand, especially in a small community, it's
risky.
exactly what you're saying, Anthony. You could potentially cut your
Yeah, it's not a smart move. Now, look, I've taken stands on this show. I've been on one side or the other. Frank and I have disagreed about stuff. Janine and I, all that. So it's not like you can't do anything like that. But for this guy, and we've seen it in other places where you go to one side and you go, this is our side and this is our belief. It's crazy because you're not only ostracizing potential customers, audience, whatever, but you're also you got people in that company that don't feel the same way that you do, and suddenly they're just wrapped up in this thing, and then you start closing down areas and whatever, and it's all because you couldn't.
Your boss went out and started yelling crazy stuff.
Now,
Yeah.
the question is, with him saying these things about these voting machines, do you think it throws these companies actually into bad light?
Yeah, I think it
Depends
does.
on who's listening.
Oh,
Yeah, you're right.
yes. Go back to go back into the comments section of the last couple of podcasts, Brian. You will see people believe.
I love how people believe the My Pillow guy over the companies and all their representatives and everything they, not that you should just take people's word for everything,
Right.
but some guy with zero proof comes out of the woodworks and goes, yeah, these machines are stupid and they're screwing up and they're doing this, it's rigged. And then everybody goes, yeah, gotta be, because he lost.
There are people out there that they believe. And now, by the way, and I said this, again, I don't want you go back and watch the old, but I said the guy produced no evidence, but he did bring up some good points about the machines being connected to the internet, which they said it wasn't, and all this stuff that feels like it should be investigated. You could probably go ahead and look into this a little bit. No harm, no foul. We spent all this money on Russia and Ukraine and, Hunter's laptop and Hillary's emails and Trump's dossiers. We've spent all this money on this crap. Could probably throw a couple mil to making sure our shit's right. You know what I'm saying? As far as election goes, I don't think there's any harm in that. But
they did investigate all this stuff.
I mean,
whenever all the proof was brought in front of judges in these court cases, it was all thrown out because it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, they had no basis.
Yeah, agreed. But I'm saying, I wouldn't take the company's word for it. I would like it to be.
You don't have to.
I'd like the government to shore up their partnerships with some of these things. That's all.
And there's got to be, whenever the government works with a company, any company, it could be, whoever stocks the food in their fridges, whatever the hell it is, their vending machine company. The government should know everything about that company.
And by the way, and I say this, and let me back up why I'm saying this. 60 Minutes a couple of weeks ago had this story where Russian hackers infiltrated the Department of Justice. Okay, and they got into they just blew past all their security, and they were able to put this virus, for lack of a better term, on their computers. And there's a couple of entities that are checking all this information and just finding. They found out 6 months after they did it. They don't know what this stuff does. They don't know what they've taken. They don't know what can possibly happen. It was a friggin' fluke that they found it in the first place because one of the companies that works for them had a sign-in that was odd looking. They called the employee and they were like, "Did you just log in on this computer?" And the employee was like, "No." So that's how they discovered it. So it was almost it had went past every fail-safe, you could argue, with the exception of this particular one, but the fact that they found it was a fluke. And so my point is this is an ever-evolving thing. I was under the understanding that those machines were completely offline and could not be changed.
True.
If there's now manuals online that says they do go online, then you always need to be checking that information out and making sure that everything is kosher because you have no idea what is even out there and available. So that's my only point. Now, do I think that they used it in this particular case and switched all these things? No. Everything that has been looked into, everything looks pretty kosher and right.
Everybody involved in checking the security of our election said that this was the most secure election
right
to date.
Right.
If anybody out there can help me, I'm trying to look up the password to my MySpace account. I can't find it. I've tried it. I think I've been locked out of the account. If those people, the hackers, are out there, please help.
That'd be great.
And that's his, not mine. Don't hack my MySpace.
That'd be wonderful if they could do that.
If it even exists anymore, I don't know.
So anyway, we'll see what happens with Michael Lindell here. 115-page lawsuit filed today.
What do you think of the pillow? What did you think of the pillow, Andy?
I love the pillow. I still have it to this day. That's I've had it for like 7 or 8 years. I love the pillow. It still is doing. I feel like I probably got another year out of it before I gotta kind of.
Yeah, they were fine pillows, and I think you can also. I think they still can. Are they still available at Costco? I think you can pick them up. There was some sort of contract that says that we still are going to still sell the pillows after all this has come out about it. The product is perfectly fine. It's just, him running his mouth.
By the way, I'll buy the pillow tomorrow. I am not one of these people. Like do I love a good protest, or I'm never going to patronize that store again or whatever? I sure do. But for this instance, that guy's batshit crazy, and it has nothing to do with the fine people that are making those pillows wherever the hell they're making them. You know what I'm saying?
Your opinion, correct, Anthony?
It's my opinion. I don't feel like buying that pillow is supporting this nut bar and his whole the election was rigged thing.
You're not going to be paying the company that's suing him.
I'll donate to Dominion as well. I'll put a little in their kick too.
Okay, I'll buy a voting machine.
The only thing is my only question is when this guy loses his lawsuit and the company defaults, can Dominion make a good pillow? Is what I want to know. Can they keep up the pillow game?
Hi, this is Dominion from My Pillow.
I'd buy that pillow. Now,
come vote. You get a free pillow.
I forget his name. Hoge, I think his last name, David. The kid that was involved with the Parkland.
Oh yeah.
He's making a pillow company.
Yeah. See, I'm against that. I'm against that.
Why?
I like the kid. I'm with the whole Parkland crew. I wish him all the luck in the world. But this is
you're against someone making a pillow company?
Not to steal from Larry David, but this is a spite business. This is not, if the kid tells me
all about spite.
If the kid tells me that
I don't want to be involved with this.
I thought you would be all about spite.
If the kid, I do love a good spite, but if the kid says it was my dream to always have a pillow company, okay, good luck with it, kid. But I think that he was just grabbing some headlines. I think in 3 months he's gonna be like, yeah, we explored it and we're not doing it.
No, it sounds like a Reddit a Reddit slag line, tagline that says, goes into buys pillow. Was it because the clicks? Was it clickbait? We'll see.
I don't know if it was or not. I think the kid was just trying to do the right thing, and I whatever, good for him. But I don't think. I swear to God, I don't think we're going to see a pillow company from Mr. Hogue anytime
It's on its way.
Now, what about...
It's called Good Pillow.
Anthony, you said you saw the documentary that Mike Lindell made.
Yeah, if you could call it that, yeah.
Okay. Now, you're in COVID-19 lockdown, and you're a video editor. Are you accepting this gig?
That's a good question.
You're in the credits. You're gonna go by Seymour Buns. That's my name. I'm editing the video. My name is Seymour Buns. That's it. I don't want to be a part of any of this.
Uncredited, please.
Right? Please. I don't want to know. With the production team, are they going to get more gigs for this?
I don't know. I don't know who produced. It looked like shit. To be honest with you, it didn't look good at all.
He probably did it on like Windows Movie Maker or something. Star wipe here, star wipe there, and you're good to go.
Star wipe. I think he did it on the MySpace video editor, to be honest with you. I think that's where he got all that stuff from. No, but it was horrible. He looked like he was sweating. The whole thing.
Really?
It was just awful. It was pitiful. It was like Tiger King. It was exactly like Tiger King. You were there for that weekend, 2 weeks removed from it. I'm like, I don't even know why I was fucking bothering with that shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, you tried to get me to watch it, and I said, no.
Well, yeah, because
I'll watch some of the things you recommend to me, but not that.
I'm happy I went through it, just like Tiger King. I'm glad I was a part of it all, but
you don't seem happy.
I'll see it in snippets on TikTok.
Yeah, It's like
I got the recap here. I'm
like
good.
Blair Witch. Like, what are you gonna do? Watch it 4 weeks later? You've missed it out. It's over. There's no point in, it had its little sweet spot, and now time is done.
I don't want to watch batshit documentaries.
All right, now if Dominion Pillows and the Hogue Company got together, then I think we'd have a little pillow company. I think that would be a nice thing.
2 great pillow companies in one.
Yeah. What is it called, Frank? Good Pillow? I kind of hate this. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't love this.
Good Burger?
It's already
like Good Burger.
He's already got orders backed up.
Good
pre-orders.
for them. Good. Ride the wave.
What the hell? There's like a charity component to it.
Yeah, of course there is.
Whatever. Hey,
of course there is.
The kid's what? 18, 19, 20 years old, whatever he is.
Yeah.
He's an entrepreneur. What the hell? And he's doing, and I don't know what the charities are, but it does. If it's going to do some good, what the hell?
Well, hopefully it'll go to gun reform so that we don't have semi-automatics in schools. That would be a nice charity.
I'm sure that's going to be part of it.
Yeah.
But, if the person running it isn't batshit crazy, I'm in. I don't care.
Well, let's see what happens.
I'll buy a good pillow.
Hey, I'm not rooting against him. I wish him all the luck in the world. If this were the way, but he's
Seems
literally
like you were rooting against him.
I don't want to make a big deal out of this, but this is literally the plot to Curb Your Enthusiasm season 10. Okay, they just switched out coffee shop for pillows. That's really,
How did it work out then?
After a while, Larry David just ran out of steam. He was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
That's Larry David. He runs out of steam.
That's where I'm going with all of this. Spites, companies, and stores, for as wonderful as they are, after a while, you just go, this is not what I'm into. I don't want to do this. That's basically it.
This guy's already got back orders. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe the Hoagmeister will have a nice company where all the My Pillow employees who lose their jobs can move on over and still work. That'd be a nice little end to the story.
That'd be good.
I'd like for that to happen. Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen just announced today that they are coming out with a podcast on
another
Spotify.
Competition. Come on.
Yeah.
How many competitors do we need?
I would honestly listen to this show right now. I kind of want to over finishing this actual episode that we're doing at the moment.
I'm in. I could abandon the rest of the show and listen to that.
That'd be nice. So it's going to be called Renegades Born in the USA, and it's going to focus on Bruce's ability to get out of a DUI ticket. It's really an 8-part. So it should be good. I mean, it should be good.
Looking forward to that.
I'm pretty sure Bruce only did this so that when he appears in front of the judge over there in Asbury Park, he could be like, did you hear I just did a podcast with Obama? Because, kind of a big deal.
I'm doing a podcast with Obama. And I'm coming home very soon.
We're here. By the way, do you want to know who the more important person is on the planet, Bruce or a former president of the United States of America? Because Obama went to Jersey to the farm on Freehold to fucking record this thing. Okay, wow. That's how you know who's really in charge of shit.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why they call him the boss, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, he couldn't drive.
That's it. You can't go far with an ankle bracelet, I guess.
I guess that's true.
What a sting operation that was. I feel bad for Bruce.
Hey, you're drunk driving. That's what you get.
Yeah, but he wasn't. Now, I heard snippets of this. Brian, did you hear more about this?
Yeah, well, the snippets were that, let's put it this way. Anthony, you're in a parking lot, rocking out in the GMC, and just hanging out. And someone recognized you. And they're like, oh, that's Anthony. And, the other people have tequila. And they're like, let's do a shot. And of course, Bruce Springsteen, being the nice guy he is, does the shot. And then supposedly, Bruce is like, all right, I got to go now. He drives off, and the park police or the state police see him leave after doing this shot.
Oh, is that now? Did he?
I don't think there was a long time drinking there. Maybe there was a few shots in there involved, but it sounded like a sting operation to me.
I heard
he didn't have to take the shot.
We didn't have all this last time we talked about this on the podcast, but to back up Brian, I heard something similar. Somebody told me the story secondhand, so I didn't read it. But I heard it was 2 shots, and I don't even know if he got back on, I think it was a motorcycle. Was he driving, or was he driving a car?
I don't know. It wasn't a Jeep, I don't think.
Either yeah, it was not a Jeep. Either
Did they
way,
throw him a free Jeep for that commercial?
either way, he should have been drinking and driving, of course not, but like you said, it is kind of a tough spot where it's like fans come up to you.
In his own state.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say you don't have to do the shot. If you're getting ready to drive home, you'd be like, I'm getting ready to drive. But I'll shake hands, I'll take pictures, whatever.
What's interesting is this timeline of things that didn't come out to the Monday after the Super Bowl spot ran, or Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Which was odd. So this is something that happened back in November. So was the promotion machine of Bruce Springsteen and the promotion team of Jeep keeping this under wraps until after it came out?
I don't know.
But like, there's no one that said anything since November about this, let alone the people that also did the shot with him.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the weird thing is that
I don't
those
see a
people
thread on Reddit. I don't see anything on Twitter. Was there any selfies that were taken with these people? I have no idea.
I haven't seen
probably
anything.
like Toyota set up this thing or something.
Probably was Toyota.
A rival car company. Just like, we got to get them before this Jeep commercial comes out.
Where they forgot the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in the spot.
It probably was Toyota. They were lying in the weeds waiting for this whole thing to pop, and then they release it afterwards, and look how stupid Jeep looks.
Take the shot.
Yeah.
Telling you. May not be Toyota, but it could be,
right.
I don't know.
Right. Could have been My Pillow People Company. We don't know.
Could have been Ford pushing their F-150s.
Could have been the My Pillow. It could have been Mike Lindell for all we know. Planting this.
And there'll be a documentary on it. The timing of this podcast coming out, I don't think it was coinciding with this decision or this story.
Well, I don't know when they actually recorded these episodes, but they released 2 of them today. It's only an 8-part series, so there's only 6 more episodes to come. But it's in-depth discussion. They were apparently had grown close after being president and being Bruce Springsteen, and I know he's done stuff at the White House and fundraisers and all that kind of stuff. Right. But I got to admit, all kidding aside, I mean, obviously love Bruce, and the idea of these 2 sitting down sounds awesome to me. They're talking about, they released like a trailer and they were talking about their fathers and how Bruce was like, my father was basically ashamed of his family, and Obama was like, yeah, my dad left when I was like 2, and I didn't really know who he was. It just sounded interesting as all hell. I would love to hear these 2 kind of go back and forth and share their stories together.
I think it's an interesting team up.
It's just the 2 of them, no guests or anything.
Just the 2 of them. Yeah, no guests. It's just them sort of having a conversation, which is, again, the thing I love about this. If without the podcast, we wouldn't have this discussion. This wouldn't have made a TV show years ago. Like, no network would have picked this up, Wouldn't
it be great to have him and like George Bush have like a podcast together?
Who, Obama and Bush, or Obama?
Yeah.
Bush and Bruce?
No, Obama and Bush.
I kind of want to hear Bush and Bruce, to be honest with you.
Bush and Bruce.
I think that
Let me
would
tell you here. You're come from Jersey. I'm from Texas.
Where it's freezing right now.
Sure, you could play Rosalita, but can you dodge a shoe? I don't think so.
It's not easy to do.
Yeah.
You don't know what's coming?
Yeah, I would love to hear, because, by the way, this is all because Obama and Mrs. Obama, what's her name? Michelle?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Almost blew that. It's actually literally on my screen, and I almost forgot her name.
She was only the first lady for 8 years, but that's all right.
She
God, we're with you.
It's just racing through my head because people write the craziest shit online, and we were talking about her one day, and there was like 47 comments about how Michelle was a guy, and it's all a fake, and it's all like
that conspiracy's been around. Yeah,
people are ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyway, they have this deal to produce material for Netflix and for Spotify. They signed these deals, so they got to put out some stuff. So I guess this is the first. This is his first offering.
This is all because Rogan exists.
Basically, yeah.
And podcasts with the thing now.
Spotify's $500 million they've doled out for podcast material, and this is part of it.
When are we on Spotify?
We are on Spotify for free.
Yeah.
We are not getting paid a dime from those bastards.
Got it.
Yeah.
There was someone that talked us into using Spotify. a long time ago.
Yeah, at the radio station, you mean? Should get rid of that asshole. Anyway, I think this is going to be great. I'm down for this. Like, I think
I'm in.
Like, I don't know if you get more Americana. That's why that Jeep commercial was so great. It's because it's Bruce. He's as American as the dirt that we got here. And, it's just disappointing that this whole DWI thing or DUI thing happened.
So they have enough topics to talk about for 8 episodes.
Yeah, but here's the thing about this. Like, I'm happy to have these episodes, but to me, like, limited engagement stuff is great, but, you got to have a long-term thing,
They'll come out
Yeah,
with
by the
something
time
else.
you start getting familiar with their attitudes and who they are by the 6th episode, and then there's like 2 more, so
Yeah.
you're lost by the 8th. It was like John Krankowski, right? With the Good Morning Today. What was it?
Yeah, the Good News show.
Yeah, Good News.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, we're going to keep on doing this. Yeah, but John's gone.
And like, what even happened?
I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything else about it. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
Fast forward to a year from now, you see Obama and Springsteen going through an abandoned house going, all right, guys, we're here. This place was abandoned 30
Ghost
years
hunters.
ago. Yeah.
Be Squatch hunters too.
I would pay to be involved in to watch that. That would be a great
Could
Bruce
happen.
and Obama.
Yeah.
I just
Barack
hope
and Bruce.
I just hope that they don't. I listened to Michelle's first podcast. Her guest was Barack. Which, by the way, like, I don't care what president it is. Like, how do you not find a long form conversation with a president not interesting as all hell?
One of my favorite episodes of comedians in cars driving whatever it is, getting coffee, is the Obama one with Seinfeld.
Such a
Like,
great
one.
episode.
They couldn't leave the White House grounds.
They had a circle. They had a circle to play.
Right.
That was great.
Yeah.
But it happened, and it made it happen. And Seinfeld walked in, and he was in the cafeteria, wherever they were, and it was just showing the real side of a president, which I think we get to see more and more of nowadays. But that was really in the early days of things.
Yeah,
That was great.
I love that stuff. I love that stuff. But Michelle's first podcast, it was so overproduced with the music and this. Like, you can tell they spoke for 7 hours and they cut it down to like 45 minutes. And
They didn't use any like vuvuzelas and sound effects. Like, bah, 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 bah.
I hated it. I hated it, man.
Really?
I'll tell you what.
You're not the demo.
Conan's podcast is a smidge overproduced,
Yeah.
but he gets away with it because he's so friggin' entertaining. You don't mind. I just hate that, like, we're in the middle of a conversation and all of a sudden you stop to hear 30 seconds of instrumental music and then another part of the conversation again. Like, cut that shit
annoying.
out. I'm the last person that look at how this thing starts. Like, we passed on intros. There's no mute. Like, I am
We
bare
should do
bones.
like a 30-second cartoon intro.
I hate it.
Walking in.
I hate it. The YouTube videos were like, we're going to do this thing, and it's coming up after this. And then you got to sit through 40 minutes of something they paid a whole shitload of money for that drives nothing to what you came here to see.
Right.
We all already get raked over the coals for how many commercials there are, which are not in our control.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so counterproductive. So keep the overproduction out of the thing. That's my advice to Bruce. If I can give advice to one of the presidents and Bruce Springsteen, fucking,
I'm sure they're watching and going, this guy's right.
This guy, I am right. To tell your
This
little
guy,
producer.
Anthony.
Because we all, by the way, we all know who this person is because we were all on radio. Was that fucking overeager producer that's like, oh, you know what this needs is 30 seconds of, this is the current trend, and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I was
Stop
getting
doing that
nervous at the 10-minute mark, Anthony, and I'm glad that we were able to push through and break through that.
shit. What?
The 10-minute mark. I was getting nervous. I thought we had to wrap things up.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, we will soon. All right, do you got to run?
No. I'm just saying at the 10-minute mark, I thought we were having to wrap things up. Talking about producers. Inside baseball.
That was an inside
Producer joke.
Sorry.
We need a
Should
graphic
explain that better.
that comes up and says producer joke.
But you know what I mean, though, right? Because it's like this is literally long form. People literally want to come and hear what these people have to say. And you got these people that are like, we should cut this part. You should slight.
It's like me sending the email to Disney Plus about WandaVision and how long the intro is and how long the outro is, and then learn after I skipped ahead of the spots to learn, or the credits at the end, that I missed a piece of the show.
Oh, did you really?
Week.
It's all connected, man. Everything, the intro, the outro, after the credits, it's all
New
part
York
of the whole thing.
telephone. Yeah.
That's right.
I got to get in on that WandaVision. Is it good? You both watched it?
Yeah, I love it.
Are you good with the universe?
I love the Marvel thing. I'm not nerdy. I'm gonna miss things. I know, but I like it.
I have missed a lot.
Yeah.
So
There's stuff
I saw
that they haven't introduced yet in the movies that you wouldn't know unless you read the comics.
I saw the first few, and then I end up loving going to channels here on YouTube that explain things that I had missed, Easter eggs and things like that. And that really brought me up. So this week, I didn't need to necessarily see an episode to get the references that were happening in the show.
Got it. I got to get in on
that. Assisted. It was like a cliff notes for the Marvel universe, and being able to follow like, oh, this is happening. This is this person.
Helps.
This might be this thing. It really did help.
That's how I got through college and high school. Cliff notes.
Call me Cliff.
There is a company that is actually 3D printing meat.
Yes.
This is friggin' disgusting to me.
What are they 3D printing it out of?
Plants and shit. Take a look.
All right. I've had plant burgers and plant whatever the hell. They're good.
Here's my thing with these plant-based things, and I've had them too, and they're okay. They taste okay. A burger is a different animal, for lack of a better term, than
whatever you're gonna say next is wrong.
Than a steak. You know, I know
no, it's not.
I know it's the same animal.
It's different.
The texture, thank you, Brad.
Yeah,
the
I know
texture is that's a different ball game. So you can get away with a burger. With a steak, though, I'm not so sure.
This just goes back to Anthony's hate for vegans.
I really don't like vegetarians, be honest with you.
Not even vegetarians.
Yeah. No,
and
I don't.
It's no meat. If you don't eat meat, you're on Anthony's bad side.
Yeah, basically. I need a meat
There's been sometimes I understand that someone's been written up because of altercations in the studio.
Yeah, well, Brian and I used to, well, Brian still does, but I used to work with a vegetarian, and he used to just,
two places for you.
Yeah, I can't get away from them. That's the thing. I can't, they seem to follow me around.
That's why you're very selective on who's on podcast.
We give everybody a COVID test and a slider. Just to see.
Let me see you eat that slider. Come on, eat the slider. Come on.
So let me ask you, if the steak, the 3D printed steak, smelled, looked, and tasted exactly like a regular steak, are you in?
You're in. I know you're in. Come on.
I mean, I don't tend to turn down food often, so if it's delicious.
But are you in? Like, if you were given the choice, cook this steak, buy this steak at the grocery store, same price, looks, smells, tastes the same, or this is a real beef steak.
Feels like this is a Matrix conversation. I know this is not a real piece of steak, but the Matrix is telling me it's delicious.
Joey Pants. Thank you, Joey Pants.
Yeah.
Wow, no.
Seriously.
They put me back in the Matrix.
Worst scene in that whole movie, by the way. When he eats that steak, I want to punch the TV so hard I die from the punch.
Because you got the chewing thing. By the way, that was a good Joey Pants impression there, Brian. That was pretty good.
Tony, she's a whore. That's right. That's when he killed like the stripper, right?
Yeah.
And Tony felt so bad for her and everything else. And it's just Joey Pants just sitting there all disheveled.
And he was listing the reasons. She was a hooah.
She's a hooah. Oh,
how he was allowed to, how Tony let him go that far. For that, be around that long, I mean.
Yeah.
I screwed up everything he touched.
Yeah. To answer your question, Frank, I like all this stuff. I'm not one of these people that are like, but if you're telling me if you put a real steak in front of me or a fake steak in front of me, I'm going to eat the real steak.
Here's the question.
If you can't tell the difference, what does it matter?
I'm sure you can.
Price. Are you charging me for a porterhouse and it's not a porterhouse?
That's true.
Probably not. I mean, if it's plant-based, who the hell knows?
But there's a lot of technology involved here. A lot of technology involved here.
What's weird though is that they're 3D printing it. Like the other meats, I don't know how they make it, but it didn't involve a 3D printer. This thing
There's a story a couple of weeks ago that a house over in Riverhead here in the island got 3D printed and it was up for sale.
Really?
Yeah. And it made national news. I think it was on Fox had done the story about it. We had done the story about it, and basically using cement and like this large area 3D printer built this house, and $299, I think it was listed for.
Wow.
So, we're getting to that.
If you had a 3D printed house and a real house next to each other.
No, I'm saying using that printer to make steaks.
Can you eat a real steak in a 3D printed house?
Then we can have the real world of the Flintstones and putting that big rack of meat on the side, and the car goes hits the side. This is the future, Anthony.
Can you 3D print a gigantic brontosaurus steak?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm in.
My thing is, and not to sound like one of the Proud Boys here, but why it feels like they're just trying to get rid of meat overall for us.
No. They're getting rid of combustion engines. They're coming up with alternatives for meat. Yeah.
It's I guess it would save on pollution and for animal, cruelty for the animals.
Now, is it going to flip these vegans back into eating this 3D plant-based meat?
I don't see why not.
And that's the other thing, too. Can we even call you a vegan if you're eating fake meat? You want the meat so bad, have the meat.
But it's not meat.
It's almond milk. Is it milk if it's almond milk?
Yeah, like I'm a proud almond.
It's still a house.
I'm a proud almond milk drinker. I don't sit there and go, "Ooh, this real milk is delicious." You know what I'm saying?
You can milk anything. I didn't know you could milk almonds, but you can milk it. You can milk anything.
That's like saying olive milk when it's olive oil. It's not olive milk.
Frank, you got a good point there. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Why is it almond milk? Is it white when it comes out of the almond?
The Beyond Burgers and everything else. Burger King has their own.
Yeah.
Impossible and Beyond.
Oh, Dunkin' Donuts has the.
You're right. A breakfast sandwich,
sausage
right?
Patties, yeah.
I haven't taken the challenge yet on tasting those, but
I had the Dunkin' one. It's really good,
and you wouldn't know the difference, right?
I don't know if the texture's a little different, but it's still great. It's still really.
But we're talking about fast food meat patties. Like that shit barely is real to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So
but it's not. You're not eating pork. You're eating plant, and maybe it's a little healthier. Maybe a little. I'm sure it's still, cooked in like oil and crap, but it's a little healthier.
I don't know why this thing has to be 3D printed, but maybe that helps with the texture.
I think so.
Maybe it does. I don't know, but it's all very suspect to me. Give me my.
It's either 3D printed or you got some guy there going,
putting it together like a Rubik's cube.
Yeah, kind of smushing it together like silly putty. No, you don't want that. 3D printed for me, please.
I also think, look, for the health, if you're telling me it's healthier, fine. I get it. Health benefits and all that. But a lot of people say that these fake meats, they're worse for you because they're filled with salt and all kinds of shit to make it taste like real meat. That it doesn't wind up being more healthy in the long run.
Yeah, I guess. But you don't. I mean, if it's fast food, you're not really erring on the side of caution here anyway. You're not worried about your health.
Where are these 3D printed steaks and meat coming up first? Where are they going to first appear in the supermarkets, or? Yeah,
that's their plans. They're going.
And how fresh are they going to be? Printed at the store?
I don't know. No, it's a company that's gonna, I guess, print them and
then deliver them
and ship them out,
them and seal them and stuff.
So you're getting your meat from Kinko's.
It's a Kinko steak. It's basically a Kinko steak.
Yeah.
This just
make a copy of this T-bone for me, please.
Right? Can you put it down on a printer and a copier? Hey, get it rolling. Here you go. Photocopy.
What happens when the meat comes out white instead of pink because you ran out of toner?
You're out of ink. Yeah. To see, then you got a problem. You got to open it up, shake it.
In a more serious tone here, this just in: David Hogue announces he's opening up his own slaughterhouse in response to the fake meat company.
Is it Good Burger?
I don't know what it is, but he's just against anything that's happening. That's my problem with David today. I just don't like his attitude. Right. Look at this chef too. I feel like maybe we should kick this guy out of the culinary world. This guy's like slicing this thing like it's a real. Like, do you need that thing? Because I think a Play-Doh knife could do the trick.
Do you have a Play-Doh knife? What the hell's a Play-Doh knife?
There it is on the grill right there. You can see the guy's like searing it.
To be fair, that does look like dog food.
Right?
It's very small.
And then this guy, whoever the hell he is, I don't know who this guy is from something.
Handsy.
He like cuts it and then he's like, "Oh, it's delicious." Like, is it really though? Because I'd like to get in there for an honest review.
They're not doing many close-ups. Like I want to see it sizzling on the grill.
Good point, Frank. They don't. Well, here's a close-up. It doesn't look great though. It doesn't look that great. It's hard to kind of see, but trust me, it looks kind of stringy and weird. It looks like it was printed from a 3D printer.
Hey, what if it tastes better than a real steak? We explored that possibility.
Again, you know me, I'm not going to turn down anything delicious. I don't care if it's made out of a plant or an animal. Like if it's delicious, I'll eat it.
Hey, if they made all my steaks out of plants and they taste good, great. And I can cook them and I know what I'm doing.
Guilt-free.
Fine. I love it.
Yeah, but a steak, a good steak, and
you could say the
cream
same thing
spinach and mashed potatoes, and
no one's taking away your cream spinach and mashed potatoes.
We have to make these 3D printed meats in order for us to get to Mars.
Let me just say this:
only way we're getting to Mars.
You might be right.
Can we just 3D print Mars and bring it closer?
Mars bars?
Just put Mars a little closer. Just make our own Mars.
I'm just saying this, and I don't want to start a conspiracy theory here, but
all right.
before AOC came around, we never had this meat problem. Now all of a sudden we elect AOC, and suddenly they're trying to take my meat away. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to leave it there.
They elected DJT at the same, in the same token. So he came around, and the meat problem's there too. So
and he had his own steak business. We all can't forget about that. Trump Steaks was a big deal.
Do you remember Trump steaks?
To him, I have these steaks. They're big. They're huge. They're great.
The best steaks.
Steaks are fantastic.
They're made in China, USA.
I never tried them. But
during that time, though, that I'll never forget this because, again, radio, everything comes back to radio. When he was at the height of The Apprentice, Trump had a 60-second feature that was syndicated by Westwood One. Do you remember this?
No.
Yeah, he would do who was that? Frank, you worked for the classic rock station, the guy in the morning. Jim Kerr.
I just re-signed his contract too today.
Oh, he did he re-sign?
5 more years.
5 more years.
No kidding. Do they say 5 more years, or do they just write till death?
That's probably what it's going to end up being.
How does it work? Are diapers included in this thing? Because there's no way that guy is.
Someone wants to sign me a 5-year contract to stay on the air more. Give it to me.
In New York too. What the hell?
How old is Jim Kerr though? Really?
He's up there, but he still has it, man. He's still doing it.
Can never get rid of this. He can never get the radio out of any of us.
That's true. If you were 70, 80 years old and they said, we want you to do 5, 10 more years, you'd probably do it.
Well, it's like Howard signing up again. I couldn't argue with that.
I kid. I'll do this until the day I die. I'll never.
There you go.
Yeah. I will. In fact, I will. If you stay tuned long enough and subscribe, I will die on this podcast. It might be next week. It might be 50 years from now.
Look for you'll know when it's coming by the arrow on the side of the screen.
The last
item,
like
number 4, Anthony's death. Just
all right. Next topic, everybody.
Yeah. By the way, when I do, just close my little window here and fucking roll on to the next topic. Just keep it going.
We'll talk about you for a couple minutes and then move on.
Something completely different.
You guys be like, finally, we could have a friggin' vegetable and not have to hear about it for 10 hours.
Plant printed steak. Love.
Yeah, eat the friggin' plant and move on.
I'm just saying.
Criticize everything.
AOC is trying to steal our meat from us, fellas.
We are going to find a vegetarian funeral home to get to have the services for you.
We're going to turn you into a burger. We're going to 3D print you into a burger. I don't know where that.
Anthony requested a salad bar at his funeral.
My parents went to a funeral this weekend, and I kid you not. This is, by the way, something, when I tell you, this is slightly racist, but I'm going to say it anyway. This is something that only Italians could friggin' do. And they blamed it on Tampa, which was total bullshit. But they go to this funeral, and it was like, I guess, this sort of not high tech funeral, but I guess they just had like a renovation at this funeral home. And so you know how you used to put like pictures of people up, like they bring some pictures from the home. Well, this they had like a flat screen or like a projection screen, and they were literally like projecting like images,
like a rolling montage.
Yeah. So it was very like progressive and forward. So my mother goes over to the funeral guy, like she's not, like that goes over, but she's like on her way out, and the guy's there, and he's like, greeting them, saying goodbye to everybody, and she was like, the screens, it's like I never seen anything like this. This is kind of crazy, and also because it's COVID, they're not doing mass cards, so you get like a paper mass card for some reason. I don't know why the difference, because mass cards are for but whatever. And the guy goes, "Oh, did you get?" I forgot what he called it. He didn't call it a favor, but it was basically like a token from the deceased.
Gift bag.
Something with what?
A gift bag.
No, I think he called it like a token from the deceased or whatever it was. And she goes, "No." And the guy goes to like a table and picks up and hands her a little thing of olive oil.
That is fantastic.
That's class.
I don't know if I'd use the olive oil, but I like it.
I loved it, but it was just like, and my mother said this to me, and she's telling me this story, and she goes, "Yeah, apparently this is what they do in Tampa." I'm like, bullshit. That is something only an Italian person could come up with. Like, what are we going to have them leave empty-handed? Let's get some olive oil for these people,
I'm surprised there wasn't like a whole meat spread on top of the coffin.
Seriously. Well, that's the thing. Frank, we are literally 2 weeks away from a little prosciutto. Yeah, exactly. A little mozz and prosciutto roll up.
They make like one of those flower arrangements, like in the shape of a heart, but it's all prosciutto instead of roses.
That'd be nice.
The way you guys talk about food.
I think Frank actually just literally invented a new business.
A prosciutto heart?
Yeah.
Prosciutto bouquet. Meat bouquets.
Meat bouquets. Problem is those goddamn vegetarians will be producing fake meat bouquets in their 3D printers, and then we'll lose our shirts.
3D bouquets. I don't know. We'll have a vegan section. That's fine.
We'll come out with the meat bouquet, and David Hogue will be back there going, "I could print this up and save you guys 10,000 calories."
That's fine.
I felt so happy I was able to say "you people." Haven't done that in a long time.
Oh,
Brian on the air.
Italian. We could talk about Italian.
Brian on the air used to always talk about Italians and go "you people" to me. It was the funniest shit ever. It was so funny.
Death threats from Maserati drivers, Ferrari drivers.
Oh,
the first time it was an accident. He goes, "You people." I go, "What do you mean, you people?" And then after that, he just took it and ran with it, and it was like a 3-month-long thing. That was really funny.
The listeners thought that we hated each other. It was the greatest thing.
That's how you know you're doing good radio. People are like, "Is this for real?" I'm gonna have to answer. By the way, I have no problem with David Hogue. I'll save you the time of writing the email.
No
He's
comments.
a fine young gentleman.
He's been through a lot. They've all been through a lot.
In fact, you know what came up on my Facebook feed a couple of years ago? There was there were these conspiracy theories. I'll never find it now because it was a couple of days ago. But there were these conspiracy theories rolling around that David Hogue was an actor or whatever, like he was a fake. And people were like posting pictures of him. They were like spreading these pictures of him in like these weird scenarios. So I photoshopped a picture of him standing behind Governor Wallace, standing behind Forrest Gump from the movie. And the caption was, "It's called Photoshop, you idiots," or whatever it was. And I put it out there. And that came up on my memories the other day. And that made me chuckle. I was like, that's some funny shit.
Yeah, Photoshop is a problem that... a lot of people have access to Photoshop, and it creates some funny stuff, but some people are irresponsible with it.
Yeah, people were like, "Look, see, here he is. It's all fake." And I'm like, it's Photoshop. Like, how do you
Here
not?
He is playing Forrest Gump in the movie Forrest Gump. How did we miss that?
Yeah.
It's like that time that Anthony popped up in Outbreak.
There he is.
Well, that was real, though. That was all legitimate. That's 100% real.
He was the outbreak monkey.
I was. Weird. Yeah, that's true.
There he is. Great movie, by the way.
By the way,
what a timely movie to watch now.
Did anybody else have that thought of like, am I responsible for this? Like, did I create COVID?
That's all you, buddy.
You never had that thought?
Yeah, that's you, and I think you should be investigated.
I had that thought of like, what if I did something and the combination caused
butterfly effect?
Yeah, what if
helping that little old lady before the pandemic
Yeah.
at the supermarket is what caused this, Anthony, because after that, you worked from home.
Yeah, that's true. No, but
So what happened? No, what happened is you helped the little old lady. The little old lady went home, but you caused a delay. You got her to get to her destination faster, and the fact that she got there faster means that the car didn't hit her. It just missed her,
and she was patient
able
number
to
one.
go, and she created the vaccine. You know, she created the disease, and you caused it.
See, you being nice, Anthony. See what happens when you're nice?
I literally had the thought though, like, what if I did?
That's being paranoid.
Everybody's blaming China, but what if I did something and some guy just before he hopped back on the plane home to China got it, and that's what started the whole, the whole
And
thing.
you think you were that guy that started it out of the 7 billion people?
Could have been.
That was you.
I'm sure there was a few hundred people in the world that were kind of like, oh shit, did I cause this? I could have been. I might have been the one to give it to the first part. I'm sure that's happened.
It would have to have originated within you, or you would have had to have gotten it from an animal.
In my twisted mind, it was like because I knocked over like an iced tea and it mixed with like puddle water and the droplets.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are giving everybody COVID.
What are you?
The secret of the ooze theory. Yeah, it's a complete, total freak show accident, weird thing that happened, and who knows?
As long as you learn something from it.
These are the thoughts that run through my mind on a daily basis, just so you guys know how
you have to let it go, Anthony. You have to let it go.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Not to go off topic here, but since you brought up Ninja Turtles and like old movies just for a second.
Yeah.
Is anybody else really excited about the new Mortal Kombat coming out? Or is it me? Just me? All right, I'll see you.
I'm sorry, the audio dropped out. What were you saying? I didn't quite hear you.
I was saying Gwyneth Paltrow has something to do with masks. I don't know what she's up to these days, but back to you in the studio, Ed.
Finally, Gwyneth Paltrow said that she was the one wearing face masks way before it became trendy. So she is now claiming responsibility for
I love how
face
she thinks
masks.
it's trendy.
Yeah.
Not like a pandemic preventing thing.
Yeah, not life-saving, but trendy.
No, trendy.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's doing it now because I did it. No. Maybe she was the one that started the whole
Did anybody ever
pandemic.
did they buy the candle? Did anybody buy that candle that she made with that scent?
Maybe the
I'm waiting for
vagina
my
candle
birthday.
is what caused the whole thing.
It caused people to wear masks.
I don't know if you know this, but it blew up some lady's house in Texas, and then she had to pay $17,000 in electric bills.
It's all connected.
It's all
conspiracy.
Yeah.
So why does Gwyneth think this?
She did an interview with the New York Times, and she was asked about a selfie she posted back in February of 2020. In it, she was wearing a mask, a $75 mask, by the way, which you can't buy on Goop, which would totally make sense if you could. And the Times interviewer pointed out that wearing masks wasn't the norm back then. And she said, that this is a familiar pattern in my life. I do something early. Everyone is like, what is she doing? She's insane. And then it's adopted by the culture. It's adopted by the culture.
Yeah, she started something good there.
Like Fauci was scrolling his feed going, oh shit, I can't believe I didn't a mask.
Release the Kraken. We've got masks to sell.
Yeah. Fauci was like, I don't know what to do about this pandemic. What should we do? Let me see what Gwyneth is up to.
Yeah.
That's it. Got it.
I'm going to ask a question. Is Gwyneth Paltrow an asshole?
I want to say no, but some evidence to the contrary. I don't think she's an asshole as much as she's completely disconnected from normal life.
This
It's a
article,
little far removed.
This article in Refinery 29, give them credit, points to the fact that she did also popularize the term conscious uncoupling when she split from Chris Martin of Coldplay.
Conscience,
like they were making a conscious move, a conscious uncoupling.
And also the popularity of calling their kids Apple.
She also did name her kid Apple.
which inspired all the Apple products.
The iPod.
The iPod. I think Gwyneth Paltrow might be responsible for more than we're giving her credit for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I also think that she came up with the idea to replace all the birds with battery-operated birds so the government could watch us. That was also her.
That's why we had to be in lockdown in March.
She
Yes.
had the Gwyneth Paltrow.
Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it.
Frankie C, ladies and gentlemen. There he is,
Take
right
a bow,
there.
Frank. Take a
Try
bow.
to veal.
Printed. 3D printed veal.
Try to 3D printed veal.
Yeah. So, I don't
So she wore a mask, and she's the first to do it. I always think of that. You remember that was always an O&A thing, like Robin. You know, it was Anthony making that joke where Howard did everything first.
yeah.
So Gwyneth's the first, not like the entire Chinese population courteously against other people would wear masks
Yeah.
because they're sick.
Yeah.
You know, I am one person that would get on a flight and see someone wearing a mask and be like, that's suspicious. That's odd. And then you look back at it now and it's like, oh, they
That's
were
so
being
strange.
very nice. Yeah. And now it's something normal.
That is so true. Like we always had, as a New Yorker, we always had a poor opinion of people that were wearing like you'd be like
Just
yeah.
randomly before anything, like 2-3 years ago, you see people wearing masks on the subway.
Mhm.
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You'd say to yourself, "What's wrong with this person? And stay away from this asshole." And
Right.
Yeah.
They were the kindest person on that
Right.
on that transportation. Yeah. Little did we know. But you know what, Frank? You live, you learn. Okay? That's what I've learned.
Sometimes you live, you don't learn.
Well, yeah, then you open up a pillow company and
So-
you rent a special on OAN. That's basically what happens there.
Did Gwyneth end up starting producing any of these masks after she started wearing a mask?
I don't know, but I am going to say this, hoo-hoo. I remember back in February doing this story on LNG of the masks becoming a fashion statement during Fashion Week, which I believe is in mid-February.
Mm-hmm.
And it was ironic because obviously it was in China and in Europe at the time, and it hadn't really been. This is before our lockdown, but I remember doing that story, and that was right around the same time of this supposed like I took the selfie first. So if it was on a runway somewhere, you know what I mean? I don't think that she was legitimately first to this.
Unless she inspired the whole runway thing.
Maybe. I don't
I
know.
don't know. But yeah, like you were saying, Brian, there were a lot of people wearing masks before anybody even talked about masks.
Not necessarily our culture. I don't think, it was always kind of odd when I was being wheeled in for like a gallbladder surgery that the doctors were wearing masks. I'm like, why are you wearing masks? I'm clean. I'm safe. I don't know what you're talking about.
They're
Not like
saying I'm not.
COVID's
and
coming or something.
I don't want to cough on your gallbladder.
Yeah. And all of a sudden I woke up and I got a junior mint stuck in me.
I hate when that happens.
By the way, that's a great point. We never really wondered why doctors wore masks. Ever.
What are you talking about?
Did you ever wonder why a doctor wore a mask prior to 2019?
No, because you knew.
You
they
knew?
Didn't want to. Yeah. Why do you think?
I'm not going to lie to you. I just thought it was part of the costume. I legitimately didn't think there was a real reason.
Yeah, so they could sell more Halloween costumes with masks. Hey, we got like a boatload of masks we got to sell. Have doctors wear these, and then we'll have Halloween costumes.
Exactly.
You know what I miss? I miss the giant CD they used to wear on their head. Those were cool.
It's the
To bring
AOL
those back.
CD.
Yeah.
10,000
CD-ROM.
free hours.
Those are great. Bring those back.
I literally
That
thought it
completed
was.
the doctor look.
I literally thought it was some costume designer in a movie that, like, I don't know, what could we give him to make him look more like a doctor, and then it just kind of stuck from there. That's what I thought.
How can I make this look original?
It's because you're dumb.
I
just think it was always a shocking sight to see it, and you're like, what's going on here? This is a little odd. Now, thank goodness now it's normalized. And the question is, going forward, would you still wear a mask after being vaccinated? Let's say 2-3 years down the road here. Are you going to be then Gwyneth Paltrow wearing a mask again and say, you're like, yeah, I'm the one that brought back the mask?
I'll be honest with you. I think that air travel, especially, I think that we are going to forever wear a mask on an airplane.
I don't know about that. I think once this pandemic is over, and I mean over, where it's like nobody is really, everybody's vaccinated and the numbers are way the hell down. And that's saying, all right, you don't have to, still kind of keep social distance, that the masks aren't completely necessary, I think we'll get out of it.
I'm always a person that would end up getting something after going to CES in Las Vegas or NAB in Las Vegas. And then there's always the crud that you end up having, that, I'm happy not shaking hands anymore. Trust me. I'm happy without shaking hands. That's good. Wearing a mask, if that's all I have to do, wear a mask, I'll definitely wear a mask. But it's like taking airborne and just loading up on vitamin C, just getting on a plane to go out to Vegas, was just always a crazy thing to go to these conferences. It's amazing to wear these masks, and I think we're going to be wearing them on planes, but then they say that we should be wiping down the counters and the seats and everything else already before COVID happened.
Where are these conferences, Brian? At the Crazy Girls? What are these
Crazy
Vegas conferences?
Yeah, the Crazy Horse.
Spearmint Rhino?
Spirit Rhino. We all know who the stripper follower is in this podcast.
The only free dinner I ever got from one of our suppliers ever was Benihana's.
That's a
I
good
got
deal.
to take home the little cup too as well with the fruity drink in it.
Nice. Nicely
done. Did they give you the onion shaped like a volcano?
That bit.
But if I was in charge of I would sell like candles or something shaped like the onion volcano.
Right. And then like a little bit of fuel that you could add to it, and like people's houses can catch on fire. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. We never sold these things.
I tell you who could use a mind like you, Frank, is that Gwyneth Paltrow. She could use somebody like you.
I'm gonna go and work for Goop. Goop it up.
I really think, though, because I think not even for COVID, but I think we've kind of learned something throughout this process of if you do wear a mask and we stop that handshaking shit, like you're going to be sick a hell of a lot less than you were. And I think that just the same way. Remember when we were like, wait, are we going to have to go through a metal detector just to go to a baseball game? And now it's like secondhand nature to us. I think it's the same thing. I think they're going to keep up this. And even if they don't make it a thing, I think you're going to see more people just wearing that shit at airports anyway.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because they don't want to be sick when they get to wherever the hell they're going. You know what I mean?
Can we get rid of the face shields?
Oh, yeah, right.
The what?
Do you think
the plastic face shields?
No, I think just the mask. I don't think people like that face shield shit.
No.
You think 10 years from now, let's say they cure COVID. It's gone. 10 years, let's say 10 years from now. Do you think people are still going to be wearing masks if we go back to the way things were 2 years ago?
I think people would still be having gone through this and knowing that I could just avoid the common cold
wearing a mask
on my flight to Cancun. Because how many times do you go, to a place like Brian said, and you get sick on the way there, or you feel and just run down the day of, and
But the common cold we've had for a very long time, and we've had masks for a long time. You could have been doing that anyway. Yeah,
but we never had a reason to. Now the whole world has had to wear a mask, and I feel like people are going to look at it and be like, you know what? I'm going to wear this on the plane just so I could get to wherever I'm going and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a generational thing. 2-3 generations after us, it's going to be it's going to fade out if that becomes a thing.
It might.
It's going to be like the bowler hat.
It's like people that end up going to casinos in this time during what? Who on the podcast went to the casino?
Janine twice went to Atlantic City. Yeah.
But what did I do in the beginning of March, Anthony? And I told you this. I went to Resorts World before the world closed down because I did two things. What did I do? I went to New Jersey and got a sandwich and coffee from Wawa. Wawa. And then on the way back, I hit Resorts World and I said, what did I do? I went there. I wanted to get COVID early. I was licking the slot machines just to make sure that I could be immune to all this. And I haven't, knock wood, been sick.
It's strange. I'll never, you look back at the world, you look back at some of the things that you've done, like, I don't know, I'll start a podcast. I regret that. But I look back at, we had tickets. There was this Jurassic Park tour, like where the dinosaurs come into the arena and they do this whole thing. We bought tickets for my son to go. Mm-hmm. And the world was shutting down that week. We had tickets for that Saturday. And I said to my wife, I go, knowing everything that we knew at the time, I go, they're not giving refunds. They were like, we're going through. It'll be fine. I'm like, they're not giving refunds. We'll just go and then we'll hunker down. This will be the last thing we go to. And I look back at that logic now and I go, How stupid were
You
you?
idiot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got canceled that event that was at Stop and Shop. No, it was
I had an appearance that got
appearance. You had an appearance, and
then
then that
was
got canceled. I remember that.
That was the following weekend from the stupid dinosaur show.
yeah.
That was literally the next
Did
week.
you go to the dinosaur show?
No, we didn't. No, because you know what happened? We got, I think it was Saturday. We got to Friday, and there was so much pressure on them with what was building and mounting that they were like, "All right, we'll give everybody their money back."
So the only reason you didn't go is because you got your money back.
I swear to God, if they didn't cancel that show, we would have been there, like with smiles on. We would have been buying the stupid lighty thing, that dinosaur lighty thing.
What was that? The flashlight with the spinny freaking piece of foil in the front?
Yeah, we would have been buying that. Just
From the
inhaling all the
circus, remember
COVID in the arena, just taking it all in. That would have been us, idiots.
Stupid idiot.
I literally said to my wife, "We'll do this one last thing," as if this impending doom wasn't already knocking on the door.
Frank, you have no idea how many bottles of Lysol we went through at the studio. And Anthony would be distracted when we were doing the thing called the crossover, him cleaning in the middle of us having a conversation.
That's true.
This is the same guy said, "No, we're going to go hunker down, enjoy this thing, and then we'll get into it."
That's a true story. I literally, everybody was mad at me there for the amount.
As soon as you showed up, what was a joke I made to you? I said, we all talk on this equipment. We all kind of stay in our safe little thing. And if we ever get sick, we Lysol this studio like it's a bowling shoe.
Yeah.
Little did I know the rest of that year we would be doing that and still continue to do that today.
Yeah.
I skeeve at the radio station. I skeeve the mics. Oh my God. I every time I go in, I take the little the foam thing right off. I'm like, nope. Goodbye.
Everybody gets issued their own.
Right. Not for nothing, but I don't even. Brian, did you might have used it? You guys all use the same one. I always had a different one that I would put on. I would never talk into somebody else's windscreen ever. I skeeve that out so much. No, I can't.
I think
that's the reason why I don't get sick. Sick.
All right. Well,
you got some on me there.
It's been good, Brian. It's been a pleasure having you on. I feel like we got to tell old war stories one day, but today.
You know what? It's nice that unfortunately the crossover does continue on Twitter, which is nice between you and I every now and then. But I think we'll call this the popover.
There you go.
Popover.
You
I'm thinking of popovers now. Oh God.
How is it?
How is it? Homer Simpson.
By the way, I've listened to you since I left LNG, but I unfortunately, and not because I'm mad or anything. By the way, I have no hard feelings towards the LNG people. I love everybody over there. Mm-hmm. I hope, I don't know if they were so happy with my departure, but I have nothing but.
They were probably happy.
But
Anthony, I never knew you left. Did you leave?
I said to them, I'm leaving. I've never had anybody not be happy to hear those words in their life. Where it's like, I'm going now.
Stop. No.
Usually that's greeted with, "Oh God, thank God. I don't know how much longer I could have done." Jessica
and Colin have not brought food over since you left.
Oh, that makes me happy.
It's your fault.
And I've been getting a steady delivery from them every Saturday, which is really making this awkward.
You left us Bud the Hippie. You left us Mauser. You left us so many.
I miss all those guys. I really do.
I'll forward the calls to you.
That'd be great if you could do that. That would be great.
The crossover is definitely something that was missed. Inside baseball.
Yeah. All right, we could talk crossover stuff some other time. But where was I going with this? I forget. I started saying something now, and I can't remember what the hell it was.
Just abandon ship. Just pull a Ted Cruz.
Pull the cord? Pull the ripcord?
Pull a cord. Jump out. You're gone.
I got to get one of those Texas face masks. That looked good on him. That was a nice little look for Ted Cruz.
Very funny. My ex does live in Texas and couldn't wish the best.
The guy just folds for everybody. It's unbelievable. It really is crazy.
He has no spine.
No spine. He's going to run for president again, too. I bet you. You watch. He's going to run again.
He'd be lucky if he could run for senator again.
After this. He'll be
Ted
there.
Cruz Airline coming to Texas.
That'd be
Look at the guy who lost. Beto O'Rourke. Raised millions for Texas while Ted Cruz flies to Cancun.
I don't even know what Beto O'Rourke did. I don't even know where he came from or what he did. Or what qualified him to run a state or be a senator.
I don't know. No lawyer, something like that. I have no idea.
He invented the first 3D meat printer, I think is what he's known for, which is nice.
Hey, wave of the future.
All right. It was great having you, Brian the Cannon Bannon. Appreciate you stepping in there for J-Sabs.
Great job.
Very
Thanks for
nice.
coming.
Thank you. It's very nice to be on the podcast, and thanks for the invite.
Yeah, I hope we can have you back again. What I'd love to do is have you replace me so I don't have to do this shit anymore.
Oh, the
That'd be
fill in
great.
on vacation. Anthony's on vacation this week. I'm Brian the Cannon Bennett. Thanks for joining us this week.
I think he means permanently.
Yeah, I meant permanently. I really want to get out from under this. Unfortunately, I made some
That's not nice.
poor bets in my life, and I have a bookie that won't take no for an answer, so I have to continue to do this. But
Good.
That's fine. I mean, I take other forms of payment. That's fine.
But thank you, Brian, for coming. And
Thank you, Frank. It's a pleasure to meet you and pleasure to be on the podcast with you too, as well.
You too. Thank you so much.
Oh, that was a lie. And Frank, you could have been a little bit more sincere about your response there.
What do you mean? No, it was great having him. It was great to meet you.
Why you been texting me? I can't stand this guy. Who is it? Why you been sending me?
I told you keep that secret, but you obviously don't know how to read.
All right, let us know in the comments if you like Brian more than Janine, because we will dump Janine like yesterday's news. That's gonna be our. Maybe
I know your hate mail.
I'm not wearing a wig.
Maybe we'll turn this podcast into one of those reality shows where people get voted off.
What are your feelings about meth?
Yeah, how many times have you done meth, Brian?
How many meths have you done?
Have you ever touched a human splooge on a subway hand railing?
This is all the things I have to be caught up on?
This is what J-Sabs does. This is the crazy shit.
This is her spare time.
I like the casino story. That was good.
Do you know any escorts? Because apparently J-Sabs supposedly has a lot of escort stories, knows a lot of escorts.
I'm just isolated in my own little world, ain't I?
All right. Well, you had that Riverhead story, which was good. So
keeping it local.
That was a shot.
Live and local.
Anthony.air.com has all the links and information. Don't forget to get yourself some Hero Soap. We didn't really give them a read this episode, but that's okay. They're fantastic anyway. Link in the description below.